And we're live. Welcome to Jay Skinner Live, PDT Associates, Buyers and Sellers. We're on a kind of a series called Reinvent, Restart, and Rebuild. Now, a lot of people may be listening right here, right now, either live or in a replay, that's facing a business situation that never existed before. What I want to do is give you the opportunity to see. There's hope. There's a methodology you can employ that will make sense to you and will totally seem doable. Today is for the owner, the president, the CEO, the chief operating officer, the head of sales and marketing, and anyone else who's interested in being part of the team in a huge way to get out of whatever mess you might be in. I'm going to play this short song, make sure everybody gets in. I'm going to take a sentimental journey. Going to set your heart at ease. I'm going to make a sentimental journey to renew old memories. Hey, we're live. So good to see you. I took a minute there just to have some fun, play a song, and I want to thank you for being here. I'm Jay Skinner. This is Buyers and Sellers, PDT Associates, and we're 30 minutes up or down, no more, and it gives you a chance to just get in. And I would invite you right now, if you're the owner of a company, you have a management team, a group of people that is interested in, like I said, let's get out of this bind. And if you don't have a bind, you will still benefit from this. Call them in. Just give them a call. And I'm going to do one more bar of some 12-bar blues and improv while you call the people into the office for this session. And then we'll get right into it for what helps make a company great. And you'll like it. You'll like it. Call the people in. Hey, there we go. Well, I hope the office is full right now. And the goal of this session is to, I hope that you will all just sit around, pay attention, laugh a little, critique my recommendations. And at the end, someone will get up and say, so what are we going to do about it? That's what it's all about. If this sparks some conversation you need for someone to get on the whiteboard after this and outline what you need to do with your organization to get things back together, then I did my job. So without further ado, let's just go right into it. Now, the good news is that if you're at your computer and you have multiple screens, I would encourage you to go to thejayskinner.com, and you can do that. And I will just join you here. That's going to take you, and I'm going to let me share the screen. There we go. And when you go to thejayskinner.com, it'll bring you to a page that looks like this. And then I just say hit home right there. And this is the home page of my company. And we go down all the way to the bottom. And when you go down to the bottom, you're going to see some downloads. And this is for everybody. It's good stuff. Chances are we'll be using these as a basis for conversation in the future. But down to the lower right-hand corner, it says sales and marketing must-haves. Click on that, open that PDF, and you can follow along that way. Plus, I'm going to do this. Let's see. There we go. We're going to take this out like that. Let's just turn that one off. And boom, there you go. I've already opened it. And I think it's large enough on the screen that everybody can see it. So that'll be good. And we're especially interested in the bullet points. I'll pop it down one there. The other thing is, and just so you understand the logistics here in my studio, of course, I got the music. And I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. I play some strings down here, some horns up here. Excuse me. We'll play at the end. Anyway, I've got the screen here with the camera, and I want to be sure that we talk and you get a chance to see me, and I can talk directly to you. Also, I've got another screen here, and got a screen down here, and this is like the Starship Enterprise, and I love it. And I'm using a program called StreamYard, if you're wondering, StreamYard.com, to broadcast on multiple platforms. And like I told my grandson, who might jump in here and say hi to us, he's 3 years old and he's great. If he comes in, he knows that Papa's on TV right now, so that'll be great. Anyway, as far as comments go, I want you to put comments and questions, and then at the end of this talk here, I'm going to get through it quickly enough that we can address all the comments, because that's really valuable, and you'll certainly have some wisdom to share, and I hope that you'll share it through the comment section, and we'll go through there. And I've already got friends coming on. Hello there. Good to see you. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for coming. I'm so excited to see you, and I'm glad you and lots of people are showing up. This is awesome. If you're not live, feel free to make comments, and I'll be notified. And if it's a question, I will for sure get back to you with an answer. Okay, so let's get into it. What helps make a company great? And what do great companies need? And one of the things is a well-used and implemented CRM system. I'm going to go right here, put that right there. Whoa, in my screen. And you really need to be set up. Well, I need to go back over here so you can see it. Sorry about that, everyone. Good. You need a well-used and implemented CRM system. And this needs to be set up in such a way, and contact relationship manager is what CRM stands for. You like Salesforce, HubSpot, Act. I've been doing CRMs since before you could buy one off the shelf, and wrote my first one in DOS. But the idea is that you want to have a CRM system in place to keep track of things, because, there's an old adage that says if you want to sell in volume, you need to prospect in volume, you need to present in volume. And I learned, back in the 80s, that the only way to do that was through some sort of electronic methodology to keep track of everyone. The 3x5 cards in the recipe box just didn't cut it any longer. So that's one thing. The other thing, I'm going to go right here, is that when it comes to how you define and divide your territories and who you sell to, it's far better and easier to approach things from a target market standpoint. And if you say, well, we sell to everybody, I just challenge you to take a look at that idea and look at your customer base and see if you're selling to 2 or 3 large groups of people, then consider that those might be good, quote, target markets, and that you begin to emphasize those, which will help you become more of a productivity and efficiency person to the industries that you serve, rather than just a peddler of the stuff you make and sell, which is a huge difference. Today, in this competitive environment, if you're perceived as I'm selling widgets person, then the other guy just selling widgets and the other guy just selling widgets, it's very little to differentiate you, and it comes down to price and delivery, period. That's it. On the other hand, if you are a productivity and efficiency person to the trailer industry, and that happens to buy widgets, then if you get smart about where your widget is used, either before and after, in other words, in their process, if the widget goes here and you understand what happens over there, and you can talk about it, and you become known as an expert and an interesting person to have on their team to help them be more successful, cool. Now guess what happens? They find ways to buy from you, and it's not about the price. So I really want you to consider that in your new product, new market development process, and make sure that it's about them, it's about your customer, it's about who you're treating. Now, you all know I'm a silver rule advocate, which is do unto your vendors as you want your customers to do unto you. So this is for buyers and sellers. So if I'm training a salesperson right here, or I'm training a business owner, uh, the lessons are the same. It doesn't make any difference which side you're on, because really, don't we both do both? I think we do. Okay, sales groups need to be specialized by industry served. And now, I have a good friend that says, don't use the word added value. Well, I'm not going to use added value. What I'm going to say is, you need to add some value to this relationship. That's how I got my wife. It's like, oh my gosh, I remember seeing her. I met her. She was studying to become a nurse. I needed to add some value to the relationship when we were in the dating process. So what I do, made flashcards and helped her with her homework. Now, all of a sudden, it got interesting. When you're talking to your customers, do you add some value? I mean, do they clear their schedule when they know you're coming to town because you promised to leave a gem? And I don't mean a present or a hat. I mean, you're smart enough to walk around the plant, notice some problems, or talk to them about their problems and give them a referral, give them some idea of what they might do in order to solve them, and that you're getting known as more of a productivity and efficiency person in that industry. And oh, by the way, if you need the widgets I sell, please buy them from me because the kids need shoes. How about that? It works. So be sure that you teach, tailor, and take control in the conversation. Let me take a drink. That comes from a book called The Challenger Sale. And any number of books over the years have come out, and I thought, well, I don't have to write that one. Well, isn't that nice? And I remember reading Jeffrey Gitomer's Little Red Book of Selling a couple years ago, and I said, well, I don't have to write that one. Now, it doesn't mean I know all that stuff, but it all resonates with it. Many of the things in that book are things that I've been doing for years anyway. And in case of both the Challenger Sale and Jeffrey Gitomer's books, it resonates. It's many of the things I already know about. He will tell you, it's like, I'm a New Yorker because according to Jeffrey, all New Yorkers know everything. It's like, great. I love you guys. I don't know everything, but I get it. We all hear about it. It's like, I know it. It feels good. Maybe you're hearing stuff here that is new, but I bet many of the things I'm saying are not really new. But what's the difference? What is the difference? And the difference is the execution on the plan. And I'm going to look at this right here. Let's look at this right here. Standardize insight selling approaches to working with your customers. And you teach your salespeople to go out, become really smart about their customers and what their customers do, and produce aha moments when the prospects are shown something they never considered before. Now, all of us love it when we're talking to someone and we say something and they're thinking the same thing, and we think, now we think alike, and I look like I'm important like they are, and we know the same stuff, and that builds credibility, and you bet that does to a certain extent. There's another level of credibility when you're talking to prospects and customers, and that's where they don't go, yeah, we do that too. Oftentimes they're very quiet, because you hit a soft spot they've been thinking about. They never even really wanted to admit it or talk about it publicly. And they might admit it at that time. But if you dive into a situation and uncover things that maybe they never even really thought about, and it's not even aha, but it's like, oh my gosh, I have risks and problems in my company that have not been covered. And you, as a widget salesman, have helped uncover them. He'll never forget what you did for him. That prospect, that probable customer, that customer will never forget when you uncover a risk that they never knew they had, so they can go cover it. Doesn't it make great sense that if someone's headed down a road and the bridge is out, that you are committed to warning them before they fly off the cliff? Now, They may know they've got chitty chitty bang bang in their car and their car flies, or they got a parachute and it's okay, but at least they're making an informed decision, aren't they? And when we, that's what we need to do. That's the position that we need to take. That differentiates us in the marketplace. Now, there's just some practical things, because if the CFO's here, you'll love to hear that. Reduce travel and entertainment. Use GoToMeeting and Zoom and everything else for presentations and project development. Ha! I wrote this several years ago. Actually, I've been doing virtual sales with my customers since about 1997. Not totally, but actually involved with that sort of thing and going live with customers. I know it's awesome, highly communicative, and sets you apart when you're not doing it because of, the virus, but you're doing it because it's the best way to communicate with your customer in an effective manner and get good at it. Let's keep going. Marketing needs to work closely with sales. I'm sorry, guys. We've got a sales department over here and a marketing department over here, and they're fighting with one another. That's silly. I like to call it smarketing. Someone else came up with that, and I'm all about attribution when it comes to people that have said things that are really, really smart. And I got to say that I don't know who said smarketing first, but sales and marketing need to be tied together. Now, I understand that the active sales guy may not be as deep into the marketing side, but the marketing person needs to understand what the sales guy is doing. The sales guy needs to understand what the marketing people are doing, and they need to be totally connected and love one another and work together to serve your customers. Now, in addition to that, you've got to, let's just keep going. Oh, by the way, if you hear a little piano in the background, that would be my grandson. My 3-year-old grandson decided to play on the grand piano downstairs. How about that? Good for him. Anyway, Jackson, make it happen. I can use some background music. International sales needs to be a continuation of the domestic sales success. And if you're international right now, work your own country, create and duplicate within your own country and where it's easier to sell, and then expand. And then my success was outside of the US to find people that could serve as a very, very strong manufacturer's rep or dealer in these areas that would get committed to what we were doing. And that was awesome. And I had some very, very strong international relationships that helped grow our company. And, we can talk about that. The foreign exchange swings, if you can denominate in the local currencies and work that, you will benefit and you will look like a local or a more savvy company when it comes to doing international sales. You do want to look like you know what you're doing when it comes to international sales. And, that's pretty cool. That's what you want to do. New project development when you're traveling around. This will keep the budget down. Travel from the United States for new project development, trade shows, customer visits, and problem solving. And always work with a dealer when possible for local representation, but they likewise have to share your vision. Here we get down to internet savvy. Now remember, I wrote this before COVID. In fact, I was a part of, well, I'll tell you what, the first company that I did a lot of things, but in 1993, I joined a company called Stratus Corporation. You might know it as Stratus Plastic Pallet. And in 2008 went into private equity, 2012 again, as part of the growth of that company. And we had the most traveled URL in the material handling industry, pallets.com. And the visionary owner of that company, and when it was started, it was me and the owner. He got pallets.com when the internet was still in DOS, and people were getting on it by bulletin boards. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. And you need to not shy away from all that technology, but embrace it and get in. And in this, as you talk about things like, um, oh, social marketing, when you talk about things like that, when you talk about the LinkedIn, Facebook, all those types of programs that you might say, well, we're in business, we'll do LinkedIn, Twitter, all these sorts of things. Just remember this: your prospects all have social media accounts. Maybe some don't. You may say, I'm not on that. Great. But your prospects, generally speaking, are on all those platforms. And to have ways to bring value into those platforms that don't seem like you're selling, come buy my stuff, but you're actually adding value and building a share of mind to the point where people think your name and think you're someone to call when there's a problem makes tons of sense. So I would tell you, I actually used to think that when you sell something that's industrial, that you don't need to be on Facebook or that you don't need to be on Instagram and some of these other areas, until all of a sudden it occurred to me that all my prospects have accounts, or many of them do have accounts in those areas. And that's why I'm broadcasting on every media, every platform I can. Now, you should know, because this go live format is awesome and something that you should consider doing for yourselves, for your company, that LinkedIn requires an application to go live there. So I have an application into LinkedIn, and it's a pretty involved process, and looking forward to hopefully getting accepted one day. But that's why I'm on all these other platforms. And right now, YouTube and Facebook and Periscope seem to be very inviting, and hopefully LinkedIn will get me there. Otherwise, we'll just have to clip you over to YouTube the way that you've experienced on this one. Anyway, so think about this: search engine optimization, real big. And you need someone on board that knows about this stuff. See, it's all in the execution. It's all in the execution. Well, I've gone down through all this stuff, a lot of ideas. I've showed you where you can get this actual document and use that as a talking document within your group. And I want to take a look and see if there's anybody have any questions. I'll pull this over here and look at that. Look at how that works. I've got, oh, by the way, that's what StreamYard looks like. There you go. And I'll take off the screen sharing. There we go. And get this to where I can look at it and we can talk about comments. Good. We're going here. Ron Goodwin, thank you very much for coming. There's a businessman. He's a member with me in the Insiders Club at Jeffrey Gittimer's organization, which he's a good friend and someone that's mentored me and many, many others. So good to see you, Ron. Thanks for coming. Hello, Kevin. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Queso Blanco, my friend. Good to see you too. He's an entrepreneur, builder. If you don't know, Mexican restaurant expert. He and his wife are big in the Mexican restaurant business as well. So just kind of looking here, I wonder, does anybody have any questions or comments? Because I want to make sure we address them all. I'm so thankful for you coming. We've got a good audience here. Ron, riches is in the niches. Target marketing. Exactly. Exactly. I 100% agree. So take a minute. I hope this has been valuable to you. I want you to remember, I'm Jay Skinner. This is 10:35 Friday morning, buyers and sellers. I want to encourage you to be sure and join us every time you can. And if you can't meet us or talk to us live on Friday and have the comments, which I know sometimes is difficult, please be sure and join us on that replay and put in comments. Contact us if you want to talk. I am very open. about conversation. I love to talk to people. I answer the phone, and if you have some question or comments, just get a hold of me. You go to the website, upper right, you'll see more about you. Click there. You'll catch my phone number, more information. Give me a call, and we'll be happy to chat with you. And with that being said, let's say, see you later. Thank you for joining us. See you next week. Five foot two, eyes of blue. Oh, what that 5 foot could do. Has anybody seen my gal? Jay Skinner, PDT Associates, live, buyers and sellers every Friday. So glad you guys came. See you later. Bye now. Thanks for coming.